Okay, for those of you that are on time, we welcome you. And we don't want to hold you up. So it looks like Oscar has a halo behind his head. He's kind of an angel with that light behind his head.
I try to be an angel. Try to be.
Okay, well, we'll begin first by introducing us. Again, for the people that have just joined us, right now the line's very quiet, but if I have to mute you out and you want to answer a question, you hover down to your lower left and unclick the mute button. I don't see anyone on a phone yet, but if anyone comes on a phone, it's a little different. But anyways, Oscar, why don't you start by introducing who you are?
All right. Well, hello everybody. I am Oscar Peña. I am originally from Colombia. I've been here living in Panama for over 10 years. I've been working with tourism since 2006. And I study in Colombia Hotel and Tourism Management. So I have a lot of backgrounds working with in Costa Rica. And I'm here in Panama in 2009. And since I got here, I was kind of like trying to help in the beginning with a lot of the expats. And eventually, gradually, I became a private guy. And it's been over 8 years that I've been doing privately tours. And now getting this dream with my friend Rod and trying to do the best we can to show you the best of Panama, not to sugarcoat, just to connect with the country, connect with the culture, and to see which place it might fit for you. Uh, I would love to give you the chance to get to know me more when you sign up on the tour so you can ask me more questions.
Okay. I'll quickly, unlike Oscar, introduce myself. My name is Rod Larrabee. I've been in Panama for coming up on 8 years and a few months. I'm originally from Saskatchewan, Canada. Lived most of my life, though, my adult life in Vancouver. Retired early down here when I was 46 and made Panama my home. Within a few months, I was one of these guys that just took a shot in the dark. I think Panama will be good. Packed up all my bags, sold everything I owned, and moved here. And I got in trouble in the first few months, and just happened. I asked everyone where I was living, who can help me? I need help. I don't know. I can't speak the language. I don't know how to get my residency. My driver's license expired. Blah blah. This and this. And every single person that I asked referred me, oh, Oscar Pena, Oscar Pena, Oscar. Okay, let's check this guy out. And from that moment, we became great friends. And we started in business in tourism together. So my history is more of a corporate background in Canada, and recently I was president of a publishing company in the U.S. for 5 years. I retired a couple of years ago from that, and I am full-time here and retiring Panama Tours. So,
and we're living the dream.
We're living the dream. So that is our story. And
it's a little more than that, but you know, we want to share, hopefully one day, face to face with each one of you guys.
We've been dealing not just, we started Retiring Panama Tours Company, the name here, just over a year ago is when we started the plan with it. But we had, for 5 years before that, and Oscar even longer, dealing with bringing expats here on a one-on-one basis and helping people get everything that they need when they do move. It's a big move for most people. And strange countries, strange language. You need to know the right people or you will get in trouble. So anyway, we can start this thing off several ways. If anyone has a question right away, we can start off with that. You can ask anything you want. You can ask about the positives, the negatives, and we're going to be totally honest and give you.
And sorry to cut you, but just if you guys want to know more about my job and what I have done so far, I started my services with the private relocation tours or private expat tours or private tours with Mucho Gusto Panama. You can look me up on TripAdvisor, on Instagram, or even Facebook. And this is how it started. But now it's Mucho Gusto Panama with Panama Tours, which is one thing.
All right. Anyone in the group have a question to start? And there's also a bunch in the chat, so we'll get to those too.
All right. Who's going to be the first? Ladies?
Where's the best place to buy a car?
Where's the best one?
Best place to buy a car.
Okay, so it depends of the vehicle. But personally, I have found the best deals in Panama City. Because in Panama City, there is so many people that buy cars that sometimes they cannot even afford. They will just sell them for bargain. And when you, I mean, I will hope to assist you on that one, but there is these features you can do. Only you have to do is to change the title on the month that the car is being subscribed to wherever municipio or a small town that you will be potentially be living. Let's say I bought a car in Panama City, but I live in Boquete. So my car is registered in the month of June. I have to wait until June to do the paperwork to transfer the title to Boquete. And then you don't have to deal, because here in Panama, every year you have to pay the taxes and get the plate. It doesn't make sense. Every year a different plate, but that's the way it is here. But it sounds complicated, but it's actually pretty easy. But best deals in Panama City.
Yeah. The most a lot of you guys are from the U.S. and you know what the DMV is. Panama is DMV hell times 10. Sorry to say, but we can guide you through it. We've done it. I've bought and sold, like we both bought and sold many cars. You also have the option. We can refer you to a great Canadian guy who's a car broker that will do all the work for you for a fee. And he'll find, like, there's no such thing as Carfax in Panama, so you do have to be careful. You know, you need to know the right mechanics. And, you've got to make sure the mechanic you're taking it to isn't working for the guy you're buying the car from. So, yeah, so there are lots of options, lots of availability. And so we can certainly help you out there. Rick asked, can I bring up my motorcycle? You can bring any vehicle you want to Panama. Once you get your residency, your pensionado, you can bring a vehicle once every 2 years. It's something like that, like duty free. You've got to be careful about the type of vehicle it is, or the type of motorcycle, if it's serviceable here. What do you say about that?
Well, let's say that you want to bring a Harley Davidson. Regardless if you buy a Harley Davidson here in Panama, some parts you'll be able to find here in Panama, but most of the time parts will be able, you have to order from the States because it's a U.S. brand. Yeah. Some motorcycles here are more overpriced. So if the motorcycle is a model, something very rare, something very unique, or, you know, they will be potentially be hard to find. Yeah, I mean, motorcycles don't pay as much tax like a car. It's all about to get with the right broker that is gonna get the motorcycle into Panama because of the taxes affects also the transportation, the shipment. So it's a little procedure, but there is a ways to make it more affordable and less complicated for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of difference, like maybe not motorcycles, but for cars, the best example I've heard, there's no catalytic converters here. So if you export your car down here and it has a problem, well, you know what they're doing. They're just cutting your tailpipe and welding things together because they can't fix that. They don't even know what one is. So we do, unless you have a special car, and in your case, Rick, it might be a special motorcycle, most people sell it and buy down here.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we can, like, Oscar knows the contacts and the brokers and shipping companies and stuff like that. So if you are considering bringing something like that motorcycle down here, we can certainly help you do it.
But being honest,
Sorry, yeah, that sounded like the police was chasing somebody.
I'm just gonna say the last part is that sometimes it's not worth the stress. Sometimes it's not worth, you know, if you can disattach or unattach from the vehicle and just sell it there and you have the cash to buy something here, better do it because it will save you a lot of trouble, time, and sometimes it's, I don't know, it can be I mean, people have a lot of issues just with the fees, but I get in there all the content with the broker, so to do the best deal. But you know, if you want to sell it and buy something good here, best.
Okay. That's our talk. So what's our next subject going to be?
How fun is going to be the tour? I
It's
can
gonna
tell
be
you all
fun.
about that.
Oh, we do know Diane comments here. If we know Oscar, we're not going to get in trouble. That is. I want to bring that point up. One of the most important when we design this tour is this tour needs to be led on the tour week by a Latin American. That speaks the language, that knows the people, that knows the laws, that knows how to talk to the checkpoint people, the police. Because like, look at the crowd we got here. What are you guys going to get in trouble? So he can get you out of it.
Well, what helps me is just for me, I come from a Latin American country and I grew up in a big city, but also been living in a small town for a long time. So I can see both sides. And everything here in Panama, it works about how you handle the situation, how you approach every single person, and it's about diplomacy. So as long as you know those rules, and you get, for instance, like if you are to the checkpoint, and if the cop has a bad day and is looking at bad, I'm just gonna smile. I'm just gonna say, "Yes, sir. Good morning. Yes, sir. No, sir." And that's it. And that's the best. That's the best advice I can give to anybody. But for me, I can get away a lot easier, and people can read me, and I don't know. It's just I'm lucky that I can get along easy with people.
Okay, I'm going to start answering some of the chat ones. So Bart's talking about, I've heard the current government is not as welcoming to expats. Well, we're right in the middle of a government change. Now, the previous government, there's a new government every 5 years, and the president cannot be reelected. So we actually have a new president every 5 years. It could be the same party, but it's changed the last 3 times.
Yeah.
The previous government, the Martinelli government, are the ones that basically designed the Friendly Nations visa and stuff like that. The current government, which is out in 10 days, hasn't really changed anything. They changed one little thing in the Friendly Nations visa by making the work permit only 3 years, not permanent. The new government coming in is also a very business-friendly, foreign-friendly government. That's the one thing in Panama. We have 5 parties. Is it 5?
Well, I said Molinera, PRT,
Yeah.
Democratic Change, Panaminista, and what?
Yeah.
Like
4 real ones, I guess.
4 real ones, yeah.
But they're all kind of centered pro-business governments. And we don't have an extreme left and extreme right. Election time is a fun time around here. We just went through it a month and a half ago, and it was really kind of cool. Election days, like it was back in the 70s in North America, when the family went out for breakfast and everyone went to vote, and you had backyard parties and stuff like that. So the new government, we don't foresee any major changes in expat policies here, but we'll see, and like we'll know, and we'll keep everyone informed. The second question is about the U.S. government putting pressure on Panama banks to raise rates and tighten up their lending policies. The U.S. government, the only major pressure that they have on the Panama banks recently is their FACTA laws that Panama doesn't like. It was up like 5 years ago. It was very difficult for an American to get a bank account in Panama because Panama banks just didn't want to comply. So they have recently complied. There's no problem for anyone from the U.S. to open a bank, but you will be under FACTA and you will be reported on a monthly basis. As far as interest rates and stuff like that, our economy, I can't speak exactly to that. I haven't read that anywhere. I would love to see any articles or stuff you have on that, Bart. Yeah, so I can enlighten myself about it. But the economy in Panama has grown between 5 and 12% over the last 12 years, the GDP. It's been the number 1 in Latin America and one of the in the top 3 in the world in developed countries. This year, last year it was one of the lowest. This year we're up again. So we're down at that 5% GDP. So the economy here is strong and growing.
Very stable.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't perfect the last 5 years, but it has been stable. And what my feeling of this new government is going to be actually more focused on make things right. I mean, expectations, everyone has expectations, and me personally, because I work with tourism, so I'm very passionate about how Panamanians in the industry will get benefit from it. And I got a good feeling from the new president, new government, and I think they're gonna be doing a pretty good job, to be honest.
Yeah. Quick question from Greg Smith. You guys have connected. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. If you come in December, just email info@retireinpanamatours.com or Oscar@retireinpanamatours.com. And definitely, we will allow you to buy us a beer. How's that?
Yep. Although I'm after for those there, like besides the work we do, sometimes in a year I'm doing tours also to Colombia. For those, in case. This is not the time to promote Colombia tours, but
No.
I'm doing some tours to Colombia, and I'll be gone. That's for great. I'll be gone after our Retiring Panama tour. Will be finished on the 12th.
Yeah, you're gone for the first half of the month almost.
Yeah, so I'll be gone from the 13th to the 19th, just in case.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can see you earlier. If you just, you said your email very fast and I didn't get it, but it's somewhere you said to me. We've had exchange emails.
info@retireinpanamatours.com.
You got it?
Got it, thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay, Luann's asking the best company to use to get Amazon Prime in David and Boquete. Well, I have an article about that in our blog, and I've used almost every one of them, and I still stay with Mailboxes, etc. It's a U.S. company. They have locations all over Panama. The product gets from your Florida address to your location in Panama in 4 days, and they don't charge you. They don't round up the weight, and they don't charge you for Amazon when Amazon will ship you a product this big in a box that big, and most of the companies here will cube you and charge you for that. And where Mailbox doesn't, and they only charge you for the exact amount of the weight. So
I think,
if the product
I
weighs.
think Amazon Prime, they're talking about streaming.
I'm sorry.
Streaming.
I think that's Amazon Prime. They're talking about streaming videos and stuff, not Amazon books.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
That's your
Yeah.
topic.
You can use a VPN to get Amazon streaming. So I don't want to talk about it on the call because Amazon doesn't like that, but you can email me and I'll let you know how to do it if you want to watch Amazon and US Netflix. So.
Diane is like I have that smile.
That's because Diane's drinking wine and we're stuck with coffee. Mhm.
Cheers. Cheers, Diane.
Okay. Is this the same as Panama Relocation Tours? Panama Relocation Tours is our competition.
Well, I'm sorry, but I don't like to say competition because they're offering a totally different service that we do.
Yeah. We are both offer relocation tours. They offer larger groups on a bus that takes you around. I'm not going to say anything bad about them because they've been doing it for years and have some great reviews.
Yeah.
And you'll find out the information you need to know on their tours. Why, when we sat down and decided to jump in this business, because they aren't the only ones doing it either, we decided to put something together special. We are 6 to 10 people, no more. If you're paying $3,600 for our tour for a couple or $2,200 for a single, which is the best price in Panama, what are you paying for? You're paying for information. And the more time Oscar and I can spend with you during that 7 days, the more time you can spend with our experts, our lawyers, our insurance people, our rentals people, our bankers, the more value you're going to get for the dollar. If you're in a group of 30 people, you won't have a lot of one-on-one time. And so that's why we developed our tour to be more personalized.
And just so you know, like when we decide this tour, just to remind you a little of my background, I have been working at a small luxury hotel. So I was trained in the customer service, a very customized and personalized customer service. And hospitality is my number one key. I take it very seriously. So when I have a small group, I can be spontaneous. I can be I can be just me. I don't like to run in cattle. I'm sorry, it sounds wrong, but that's the way it is. When you run over 15, 20 people, you run in cattle. Me, I like to be personal. I like to connect. I like to stop spontaneously. If someone is squeezing fresh sugar cane, I'll stop by. Hey, is anybody wants sugar cane juice? It's fresh, or stuff like that. So if also we have an itinerary, but happens that day something, you might want to switch it, and we talk about it that same day and say, hey, do you guys want to switch it this on that? And you agree, I'll switch it, no problem, because it's not about me, it's about you guys.
Yeah. And the most important thing is here, when you buy a tour from us, you go on the tour, it's not done. It might be a year before you move here.
Yeah, or 2 years.
Yeah, or 2 years, or it might be a few months. One of our last on our last tour, the people have already rented a place and they're moving here in a few months. But when they come, they're coming with 2 dogs. Guess who they're going to call? They're probably going to call Oscar. Oscar's going to meet them at the airport, and he's going to have the proper vehicle to transport their dogs, get them. Like, we want to be part of your moving to Panama, and we want you to have us over for a barbecue.
Because more than a tour is an experience.
That's
That came out just right.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to unmute the line for a second, and we have some people who have called in on a phone. If you want to ask a question, hit *6 on your phone, and then you'll be able to ask a question. So I'm going to unmute the line to see if we have any live questions. I've got a bunch more chats and emails, but I want to see if anyone wants to ask any live questions. Okay, we're unmuted.
Edward, you're gonna go.
Edward.
Okay. I've got like 9 people on my screen here, so you got to call the name. I've got one. First question is, I've got a dog. How long does it usually take to get a dog through customs?
Okay, I'm the dog expert. So I'm gonna in detail for the dog. I'm not gonna go into detail. I'm gonna send you back to the blog how to bring a dog into Panama, because there's several steps. You have to start 10 days before your flight leaves with the veterinarian in the U.S. that is approved for international health certificates. And you get that. And then you send all the details to the USDA, and then it's got to go to the Panama Embassy, and then it's got to get back to you before you get on that flight. And then you got to fill in the Panamanian forms that are for home quarantine. Then you arrive at the Panama airport, you go down to the bank, you make a $130 payment in quarantine, and I think it's a $20 higher. Hang on, I just want to make sure it's clear. And then your dog goes home with you. There is no quarantine. And it's a matter of arriving during specific hours during the day. If you're doing it, like we have 2 people we're doing it with right now, I'm providing them the paperwork, and they'll have everything they need to know. And the details change every few months. This new government, we also have a new airport, so the location might change. So when you are ready, we will walk you through that process of how to do it. The things to watch for is your airlines. United has a new policy that if your dog doesn't fit in the cabin, you have to use their relocation service, which costs them hundreds of dollars. So you want to pick your airline right. American is good, Copa is still good for getting your dog here. But like I say, when you're ready to do that move, we're going to be here for you and help you do it.
Okay, also, pensionado visa, how long, is there a minimum number of days that you have to be in country per year? Or how's that structured?
It's every 2 years, you have to actually be in the country. The law is there is very vague, and they don't seem to follow it, but you have to be in the country. You've got to have a stamp in your passport in 2 years to keep your pensionado status.
And for how long do you have to be in?
Yeah, like I say, you just have to have entered the country.
Yeah.
It's very vague. It's the easiest visa that there is in the world to keep, right?
Literally is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. To get it, it's a little more complicated. You have to be here for 3 weeks. It takes to get your temporary card, and then you got to come back in 4 months to pick up your permanent card. You have to do that physically,
Personally, yeah.
personally. If you don't do that, if your permanent card stays there, it's going to expire. because you got to sign all the documents. So you do, and it is a two-step process to do it. Some people make the decision, they talk to the lawyer, they get pre-approved, if I can use that term, and they just move here and then start the process. And then within 4 months, they have their permanent visa. Because you got to get, if you want to drive in Panama, you can't be here more than 3 months. You can't drive after 3 months. So that whole process, if you plan to come here and actually stay. But if you plan to get residency to use down the road, yeah, you just got to make a trip plan to be here every 2 years.
Okay.
Pop in and say hi. Okay.
Hey, how you doing? Ciao, I'm going again.
Yeah.
Cool.
Stopping by.
All right. Any other questions? I can scroll here. Oscar, I've never been to Rio Hato. Can you talk about Rio Hato as a place to live?
Okay, so Rio Hato is where majority of the all-inclusive resorts are. And wherever Panamanian have some homes, they go there for the weekends. That's pretty much what it is. Rio Hato is just a place to go for the weekends. There is some people, some foreigners that live there more permanently. It's only an hour and a half, tops 2 hours from Panama City. It is only like 20 minutes from Coronado or that area, Las Lajas, when they have more convenient stores, because Rio Hato is quite small. It's only like literally like a village. And you got the Cameron, you got the Coyer, Marriott, all the all-inclusive resorts. So, I mean, it depends what you're looking for. Is it a livable place? Yes, it is if you love the beach. The beach is decent. Yes, it is. But you don't have much sense of the community unless you live in a house somewhere close by, and you can connect with the locals. But that's pretty much what Rio Hato is. It's a nice area. I will say it is definitely for someone who likes to be close to the ocean and it can handle the heat. Now, in Panama, the heat is really can get really hot. Like I've been. Only if you currently live on the beach in somewhere hot like Miami or Florida, you can potentially live in that place like that.
Mm-hmm.
If that answers the question.
Bart's asking, can you import a dog into the Scarlett Martinez Airport, that's Rio Hato's airport? I'm going to defer that question and send you an email. I'm thinking no, because the actual vet and the payment process required at Tocumen Airport, I know the Rio Hato Airport is not going to have those services. Whether you can have a vet meet you there or not, I would have to check on that.
Also, the Rio Hato Airport, which is called Santa Clara, that airport was designed for bringing lots of people, all for the all-inclusive resorts. Yeah. And that was under administration of Martinelli, ex-President Martinelli. And being honest, it's not being used that much. That airport is not that official.
It's mostly Sunrise Tours and all those guys that in Transat, Air Transat, that you can't actually, that won't transfer a dog for you unless you have it in the front cabin, of course. But whether you can, I'm going to have to get you that. It's a good question, Bart.
Edward, he seems like he's in some tropics right now. Are you in the tropics, Edward?
Yeah, I'm playing around with the app a little bit.
What's that? Okay. Okay, I got a good question about veterinary care, and I can speak to this very personally. I have dogs, and last summer, my little Chiquita, little Panamanian mutt dog, she's almost 30 pounds because she has hyperthyroidism. But anyways, she got bit by a recluse spider, which is extremely rare. Happens with pets here. The biggest vet in the city of David says once a year thing. Now she had a hole, this is no word of a lie, this big in her back.
It was that big.
It was a giant ball of blood and pus. And I freaked out, obviously. And I said to the doctor, I can't handle this. So the doctor office, my vet is actually a vet hospital, and he said, we will take care of it for you. So it was a 5-day procedure. Now they had to manually burst it at the time and cut all around it, and they had to put her on IVs. And I went to visit her twice a day and held her, and it was just a horrible thing. It's a 50-50 chance whether she was going to live, like a dog that's get that type of rare bite. And it took 5 days. And I went to pick her up, so I got the bill for the care and medication and creams for 2 months, and it was $135. So it's the vet care is just, the things that are expensive are your shots because they got to buy them from U.S. dog pharmaceutical things, but they're still cheaper than it was in the U.S. Now, I've heard many, many stories of people with their dog like a broken bone or a bite, $50, like tops. So, yeah. Oops,
Health
I hit
insurance.
the wrong button.
I got the one question for health
Yeah.
insurance.
Okay. We have another Canadian. Who's my Canadian? Kathy. Okay. I am going to share a screen here and talk about health insurance. Not dog insurance this time, but health insurance. Okay, I'm going to share that screen. Now, can you guys see the screen about health insurance options? Raise your hand, yes.
I can see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, okay. So there are basically 5 different health insurance options. I'm going to try to mute. I just muted myself. Okay. So you can self-insure, meaning you have no insurance, but you are probably coming in on a self-economic visa. You have lots of money and hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank because you got to plan for disasters. I would recommend at least $100,000 a person in the bank set aside for emergency health care, like a major accident or a disease or something like that. The other options are higher deductible or hybrid type plans. If you have a high deductible plan, $10,000, $20,000 deductible, you can cut your insurance premiums down to under $100 a month. Now, what I have, I'm a Canadian. I was used to free healthcare all my life. What I have is I have a $1,000 annual deductible in Latin America and Colombia. That's where I spend 99% of my time. Then I have a $10,000 deductible worldwide. And I'm 55, I pay $108 a month for that type of coverage. If I do travel to the States and Canada, I do buy what they call gap insurance for like $25 a week, and it covers my deductible. So, that works too. A lot of people opt for the full insurance. They don't want to worry about everything. It's called worldwide, the company's worldwide insurance. And
You need to wait a minute.
Let me get the mute going. And that costs you about $2,500 a year. Hang on, folks.
You want to be in the picture?
Oh, no. Is this a webinar thing?
Excuse me, folks, I got a lot of noise in the background. Just let me try to solve that.
Benjamin.
Okay, we're working on this. I'll get it in a second. I'll just finish it.
Just like some tech issues, don't worry.
Yeah, so you're looking at about $2,500 a year for full coverage. It'll cost you nothing here in Panama and $1,000 to $2,000 deductible worldwide. Then you have the option of catastrophic insurance. If you need to go see a doctor, you need prescriptions, you break your arm, you pay for that. But if you're in a major car accident or have a major disease taking over, then the insurance covers it. And I know some 65-year-old plus people that pay less than $75 a month for that. Then you have over 65 with most policies and over 69 with all of them that health insurance companies will not cover you. So you make sure you get your insurance before that age. But they do have, all our private hospitals have co-pay insurance plans. Example, in the province I live, Cherokee Province has a 60-40 co-pay plan that they'll pay 60% and you pay 40% and you pay $100 a month for coverage like that. like the numbers I'm throwing out are averages, because you would have to give me your age or health background, which I don't want, but we would connect you with our #1 insurance agent in this country to figure all that stuff out for you. Oh, that's the screen I'm looking for, Oscar.
Really?
So this email that you see here on the blog, you can go to the blog. The last post explains everything you want to know about healthcare in Panama. It explains the 3 systems: the public system, the social security system, and the private system. Some people here just opt for the public system. Oscar can explain that his little boy Phoenix was born in the public system about 5 years ago. Why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, so my little boy, he's 6 years old actually. Phoenix, Phoenix, he was born premature. He was born only 4 pounds and a half. He's in vitro baby. That's why we named him Phoenix, rise from the ashes. So that little boy, his mom was having some issues with was losing liquid, and she was in the hospital for 5 days. And to get prepared, my son would develop his lungs and all that. Then my son, the labor was induced. My son was born only with 4 pounds and a half. He was all perfect, all right, but he was too tiny. So he had to spend 24 hours in incubator, and then he spent another 5 days in a special room for the small babies. If I had the means, regardless, to be in a private hospital, my boy will have to be sent, regardless, to that public hospital because, for example, in Cherokee, the Child's and Women's Hospital is the one has all the advanced machines to attend those cases. So I just went for the safe area because I knew that my son was going to be taken care of. So after 5 days, his mom in hospital, 5 days, my son in a special room. My total bill, you're not going to believe this. My total bill was $100. Yes. Wow. I know. So, and they still ask me, do you want to finance this?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I tell you this because the public system works here in Panama very well. I'm very grateful to that because it is my case, but I could be one of those indigenous that cannot afford, maybe make $10 a day. And $100 for indigenous will be a lot of money. So the law or the benefits are equal for everybody. It doesn't matter if I can make more money, but it's still got the benefit. And that's a blessing. So that's very personal experience to me. It wasn't fancy. It is not fancy. The mother of my son was sharing room with all the other women doing labor. And I sometimes have to sneak in some McDonald's or whatever food, pizza for her because the food in the public hospitals is not as good. But, you got to do what you got to do, right?
Yeah.
And then that's life. And that got my little boy now.
That shows you the difference in like Oscar grew up in the Latin American culture, and I've seen the public hospitals. I've been there. I had to go there with him with something with Phoenix later on, and I bought private insurance. It's not like most of us on this call are used to, but there are so many options. But I would use it for a broken arm, or I know someone who had a broken arm. It was casting. It was 1 month follow-up care. It was $25.
Let's say it's not fancy. It's not. It will be a lot of struggleness of communication in some other ways. It will be uncomfortable, but in the end, it will save you thousands of dollars.
But I want to speak to Kath and any other Canadians on this call because I know I'm pretty sure there are a few of you. I'm speaking with a lot about you lately. I honestly pay less for healthcare now than I did in Canada. And let me explain that. I was in British Columbia in Canada. In British Columbia, we have to pay a monthly fee to be part of Canada healthcare system. At that time when I left, that was $59. I now pay $108, but my prescriptions are half the cost. My dental, my eye care is less than a quarter of the cost. So realistically, in a year period, I probably pay less for healthcare than I actually did in Canada. And the healthcare, if the doctor sees a problem with me and says I need an MRI, I can have that this week. And today's Thursday. I could probably have that tomorrow. Okay, I'm exaggerating there. I could have that done within a week because of the private system here and my private insurance. I don't have to wait months and months for a major test like you would have to in the States. If I need a hip replacement, my grandma waited 2 years for a hip replacement. This year was 68 or something like that. And I remember going through that when I was younger. So if I hip replacement surgery, I schedule it for the next few weeks, and my insurance pays for it. So for me, I hope that talks a little bit about,
With good medical care facilities in Boquete, or they're primarily in David. Boquete is more basic, is more for stabilizing. They can fix you a broken arm, they can take you an x-ray, they can stabilize you. Something major, you definitely will be transferred to David, which is only 30-minute drive in a regular vehicle. In an ambulance, probably 20 to 15 minutes. But there is enough, either the private or the public service, it will have enough to stabilize you. Now that we're getting some better upgrades with the ambulance, and I'm pretty sure, I'm hoping for the new mayor, they're gonna put in rule of that the new ambulance, because they got like 2 new ambulances.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they primarily will be in David.
Yeah, it's a major 4-lane highway there. It's quick to get to, and ambulances. We should talk about the ambulances in the healthcare. There is no 911 here. In Panama City, there's 911.
There is one, but it's
another number.
Yes,
but the problem
is the 911.
They only speak Spanish. If you don't speak Spanish, they ain't coming. But we have private services here. It's not just Boquete. Coronado has one. Pedasí has one. There's a service here in town that is $80 a year, Rodney Direct. And it's a 24/7 monitored by English people. You get a little sign where you fill out a profile, all your information, everything from who your dog sitter is in case you're taken away. And they'll arrange your dogs to be looked after. And it's a number you call that in any emergency, for police, for fire, for ambulance, for power line down the road. And they all speak English, and it's a great peace of mind service. It's our replacement for 911 here. Mm-hmm.
Panama style.
Panama style. Okay. Everyone's unmuted. Do we have any questions before we get back to the chat?
When is Rick and Kelly coming with us?
I'm sorry?
Rick and Kelly.
In August.
Oh, nice. I'm going to get to meet you, Rick, in August. Looking forward.
Any other questions?
December.
Oh, December?
December, yeah.
I thought it was August.
What did he say?
Let's say August.
In August.
Correct.
Oh.
Okay. Residency and have a business like a bed and breakfast. Great question, Rick. You need to get your Friendly Nations visa is your best bet.
Yes.
I have a Friendly Nations visa. I've opened many businesses here. I have a work permit. So if you come in on and don't forget, when a woman turns 55 and a man turns 60 in Panama, and they are permanent residents, they receive all the pensionato discounts that the pensionato visa people do. It doesn't matter what visa you come in at. Those are, but if you come in with a Friendly Nations visa, you can get a work permit.
However, can I jump on that?
Yes, you can.
So
you don't have to put your hand up.
Just trying to be polite.
Okay.
So if you get the Friendly Nations, but let's say you're the one investing in the bed and breakfast, and I know this because I work in tourism and I know friends, they own businesses. As long you're not going to do the job as a Panamanian will do, like being at the front desk or be managing the breakfast and stuff like that. If you're the one just kind of like managing the background and you have your staff, you don't need a work permit. Like you're an investor, you're the owner. As an owner, you don't need the work permit. You need a work permit if you're doing the job of all or some Panamanian. Let's say you're going to be in front desk. Yes, you need a work permit. Yeah. If you want to be the one cooking the breakfast or then you need a work permit. But if you're just the one, it's just like watching, managing, you don't need a work permit. Just so you know.
It's extremely friendly. Opening a business in Panama is very simple. Like me being a Canadian and running U.S. businesses, like the complication of it is so simple. And even doing small things like people, I know guys here that have woodworking shops and sell their stuff, and there's no regulations. If I have a grapefruit tree in my backyard, which I do, I can fill up the back of my Jeep with grapefruit and go sell them for 10 for $1 on the street. There's no regulations and stuff like that. The less regulations is one reason why I moved here. Panama was just getting ridiculous with business regulations and taxes. So business here is very friendly. Taxes are fair. So,
I'm looking forward for the bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
I can give you some advice on that one. I still am in a hotel industry, so I grew up. No, I didn't grow up, but I just worked so much in a small luxury hotels or bed and breakfast. Now, yeah, that's my language.
Bart, you talk about purchase real estate. It can take from a month to a year due to nothing moves fast. Well, if you purchased a place on November 1 and you want a title transfer, yeah, it might take a month because there's like a million holidays, Panama holidays in November, but certainly not a year. If you purchase a properly titled place with a proper lawyer, you won't have a problem. You'll get your title 30 days, you'll be done. Mm-hmm.
Now in November, the months that nothing happens here in Panama, literally, is November, February.
Mm-hmm.
Is that because February is carnivals, so it's party.
Yeah.
And
So
the Panamanians love the party.
that's a lot of the culture shock people have. But if you purchase a property on a 30-day close, it's not really that much to worry about.
Yeah.
But what you have to worry about in Panama, do you have the right realtor and the right lawyer?
That's
very important.
That's very key.
If you don't have the right one, you could be stuck in a year in some type of deal that you really want to get out of.
Oh, lose your money.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, what did I miss? The name of the emergency, Rodney Direct, and it's spelled RODNY, was the name of the emergency service here in Boquete. Okay, I got some quick general questions. How long does it take to get a pensionado visa? Oh, I think we mentioned that. About 3 weeks for the temporary, 4 months for the permanent.
Tops 6 months, I heard, but tops.
Yeah, tops. Culture shock. I never experienced culture shock when I moved here, but I do know a lot of people that did. I think it's more of a Latino thing that they
Well, here's the thing. This is one example about the culture shock. Let's say you want a service, like you expect someone to come and do your yard tomorrow. And the guy said to you, yes, I'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah, no, you won't.
But tomorrow it might be the day after tomorrow or next week. It might not happen. That's sometimes what they're kissing. That doesn't mean you get to know the best people, but sometimes here doesn't go as quick or as efficient like you might be used to it. So in Latin America, mañana is, might be mañana, might be, más tarde. So it has to be very flexible. Like one of the things I always try to explain with the people is that you're not in Kansas anymore. So the stuff here sometimes gets a different speed. It will get done. And sometimes to push the people to get it done, you have to be very polite, very diplomatic, because sometimes in small town, maybe not in the cities, but in the small villages, they're not used to it, to the pressure. So you got to know how to approach them. Hey, can I get you a lemonade? Can you do this for me? And all this stuff. So you got to Rick is already enjoying it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I got your answer, Rick, about Spanish. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Really, learn that. That's the only thing I knew when I arrived here. And that was enough.
Bien, ¿y tú?
Yeah, see?
And also,
you got it.
Una más.
Yeah.
Or ¿dónde está el baño? Yeah. Or
cerveza.
La cuenta.
Cerveza, vino, you need to know to order your alcohol. But the thing is, once you're here, I'm not conversational Spanish by far. My mate and I had a conversation this morning. I really don't know what it's about, but I know several thousand words in Spanish now. So if I go to a grocery store, I can ask "Donde está something, you know, I can ask where stuff is. But in most of the expat communities, Coronado, Boquete, you're not going to need to be conversational Spanish. I want to get there. I'm striving. If you want to live in, you know, rural Petitsi, El Valle de Antone,
Yeah, very
you
remote
might need
area.
to know a little more Spanish.
At least like the conjugations, the verb to be, know your verbs, and you know how to
Yeah.
formulate a question, how to formulate an answer, basic stuff.
If you're good at charades, it helps. But yeah, so that.
However-
you know, mhm.
However, when you do the effort, Panamanians are very sweet, and they will do the effort to help you out. So it's all about how you approach the person, how you make an effort, and they're more than happy. And then the worst case scenario, hit me. I'll translate for you.
Yeah, you can always find translators to help you out in the beginning. Like when you do move here and you want to go get your driver's license, bring somebody with you the first time.
Yeah, amazed
You
with
know,
the
I've been
sound.
here 7 years, and where were we last month? Oh yeah, you came with me to renew my
Yeah.
driver's license. Okay,
I'm just
I didn't really need you though.
no, I'm just amazed with the sunset Edward has right now. I really like the sunset.
Oh, that's nice, Edward. What do you got
Yeah.
there?
It's like right now.
I just found it in my photo file.
Oh,
I think it's
how
Puerto
to do that. Okay. Hey, look, we got another Canadian on the line. 403. That is Alberta. Welcome.
New York to Metro. Well, yeah. Aftershock in the States. I've never been in the States. I'm just in the States it's a big country, like I would say Colombia. So let's say I'm from Cali, right? And I got the things I like to get in Cali. And if I go to a city like Bogota, which is totally different, I will be culture shocked. So it's totally understandable in the US to get that part. But here in Panama, it's basically about the standards of general things you will get services and how prompt, how quick.
The standards of service are different. The thing,
Yeah.
like the power goes off once in a while here, like once a week. Like it'll off on. I'm surprised. I
Yeah.
got this whole system on battery backup so we don't lose it. But those are some things that people can't handle here. I've known people to move here and leave because of a power outage once a week, or the water's, you know, they turned the water tap on and the water didn't come out. Well, you know, it's the infrastructure here is not as strong as it is in North America by far.
Or other more developed, but
Yeah.
it is. But
Yeah. Mhm.
we have to remember that we live in a small town. It's only 24,000 people. So that being said, you know, it's going to be a lot of developers. We literally live in a farming town. If that kind of makes sense for anybody. Panama City has more sophisticated, but there's a big city. With the big city, you got all the big problems: the traffic, the noise, the stress, the anger, drivers, and yeah, I love Boquete.
Okay, I'm gonna unmute everyone for a second.
That sheet.
You guys were on? Trying to figure out where all went on. Any questions? Anything that we haven't talked about or want to go through again?
How's that wine, Diane? What kind of wine you're having? A Cabernet, Merlot? Oh, she's mute.
Yes,
Diane is mute.
yes, Diane, you can have chickens. My neighbors certainly do. And 4 acres. Forrest, you asked about, speak about Mucho Gusto Panama.
Oh,
What was Mucho Gusto is still, like Oscar still runs. Hey,
So-
Ginny, how you
yeah,
doing?
Ginny.
Hi.
Hello, hey. We're just winding down.
I recognize the spot where you are right now.
Pardon?
I recognize the spot where you are right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so gusto means with much
Okay.
pleasure. It's in Colombia or Latin America. We say everything, whatever service you say, let's say I'll give you a glass of water, and you say thank you. I say con mucho gusto, like with much pleasure. That's what it means. And to me, I adopt this name because all I do with much pleasure, as much I can. That's the meaning of mucho gusto.
Okay.
It also means nice to meet you, mucho gusto.
We have a question about utilities, cell phone, internet. Utilities, like I say, the power goes off once in a while.
Yeah.
It's not a crisis. It doesn't go off for days at a time.
Rainy season
But
is a lot more,
especially
yeah.
during thunder, lightning storms.
Yeah.
All of our electrical and stuff is it's not buried. It's all above ground and power poles. So someone hits a power pole, an electrical storm, you're gonna have a
the lightning hit the branch of the tree falls on the line, it's all Molotov. So yeah.
Cell phone service is better here than it is in North America. I stand by that. In the last, well, not in the last 2 years, but my first 5 years here, I spent a week almost every month in the U.S., Las Vegas, Austin, places like that. So I've gone through so many cell carriers. It would work at home, doesn't work at the office. It's ridiculous. Here for $32 a month, you can have unlimited data and calling with several hundred minutes to North America for $32 a month.
That's it.
Like that would cost you $75, $80 in the U.S. And the service is everywhere. 99% of Panamanians are covered by cell phone service. There's 4 major companies.
I got so far I got LTE, which is the latest, the best communication
we have LTE
system
everywhere, so that's not a problem. Now, internet service, there is Cable Onda. I think they've reached about an 80% saturation already. They provide services anywhere from 20 to 600 meg download speeds. Now, I just have a basic 160 meg download speed, and I pay $50 a month. So, and it's excellent. But there are some areas when you move, if you're going to buy property, you're going to want to, and you need your internet, you want to check that it's serviced by the right companies, or you're going to be paying expensive wireless internet.
Yeah. It happens if you buy a lot in the middle of nowhere, which is no spot like poles where there's any cables, and that's gonna be inconvenient. But if you live in an area that is close to a community or neighborhood, then you will get all the main ones for sure.
Okay, do we got any last minute questions? 4 questions here.
Is it rain?
Yes.
Oh my God, did it feel like? I just want to be where Edward is. I want to be in that sunset right now.
Even though the sun's not really setting, it's been the same for 15 minutes.
That's why you want to be in the sunset. Just stay still right there.
Perfect.
Don't move. Stay there. Just
rotate. Yeah, you just.
No, where are you guys from? Yell it out. Like what province? Where are you from? Start with that.
St. Louis.
St. Louis.
Yeah, where the sunsets aren't as good.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Washington, D.C. area.
Where's that?
Washington, D.C. area.
Washington, D.C. Wonderful.
how close from Megan?
Oh, yes.
Pennsylvania?
Anyone else?
Yeah, Florida.
Florida, right on, Florida.
Oh, Tricia, Florida.
My Canadians are talking. Good show.
Canadians.
Can you guys
What's that?
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, good. Okay. I'm from outside Wilmington, North Carolina.
Oh, right on.
Ah.
Very good. Perfect.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, I had to get it on my phone, and it's Pinot Noir.
Okay, perfect.
Nice.
Yeah, it is. I'm not sure what this is. It's not coffee.
You know, some of my, I'm a little bit jack of all the trades. I know which meals goes very well with.
Okay, so why do you all want to move? What is this? No one's going to answer that one?
What was the question?
You guys hear that? That why Panama, why this country might be a good fit for you guys.
Can I talk with Diane?
Yeah, You can talk. Well,
Sure, Tricia.
Dan, yes.
Can we talk around Oscar and Rob and talk directly to Diane? We don't need you all right this second. Diane, my sister lives in Wilmington, North Carolina, and I'm in Boquete right now. That's all I wanted to say. So
There you
maybe I can get your number or something from
To
them.
find her name, hit the 3 little dots and send her a private chat.
What can I do? Tell me again.
You guys can private chat each other on here. If you,
How do I do that?
I don't know.
on your, you have to on your screen on your phone.
You can just click their name and then private chat them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I click on her name.
I thought you wanted to talk about.
Okay. Well, we got no other questions. Any other questions? We'll wrap up here. Oh, Ontario, Bart. Right on. New
Nice.
Zealand.
New
Oh, right
Zealand. Oh my God.
Moving here is better market arrangement from Panama. It's moving. In moving, is it better to make arrangements from Panama? Well, that's different for everyone. You want to come see it. You really do. I lucked out. I loved it here. That's a 50-50 thing with every person I know that just decided to move here without seeing the country first.
Yeah, I mean, you can get as much information from us right now, but in the end, it's up to you. When you come here and you experience and you see the different locations and you have that experience, that's the only thing will ensure you or tell you you got is that, okay, this is a place of potential. I can be here. I can either be here part-time or full-time. I'll say, give it a chance. Come here.
Bart's saying that you're looking for a villa in Rio Hato. I think it was just like Oscar said. It's a very tourist. The only thing negative I could think of is, well, it's really hot, but that's not for me, but it might be for you. But Rio Hato is really a tourist place. It's not really a community.
No, so
But that might be what you're looking for.
If you're in Rio Hato, get ready for the holidays. Get ready for the Independence Day Carnival because it's gonna be packed.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a lot of
neighbors.
a lot of neighbors, and the reggaeton, and lots of party going on.
I will connect Jenny and Diane after the call through email.
Okay, I lost you somehow if you can hear me, but anyway, I'm trying to get back in.
Okay, I think you're there. I recognize that part of it.
Yeah, it's all good with the student apartment.
Jenny's in Boquete visiting right now. All right, please. Okay. All righty. I think we're done. How is the weather in David? Mark, the weather in David is, honestly, this is a stat you'll find on the Weather Channel. David is the hottest city in Central America. It is set 5 to 10 miles off the ocean, so you do not get an ocean breeze.
Yep.
Yeah.
But you have the Barqueta Beach, which is only 15-minute drive from the beach. But I mean, if you really want to be on the beach, you really want to be either Rio Hato, but Rio Hato is quite a bit touristic. I will personally suggest Gorgona.
Yeah.
Gorgona is New Gorgona, Coronado, they develop it, but if you want Gorgona has more sense of community. It has a beautiful beach. And it can get busy, of course, because it's a tourist area still, but you'll get that. I will suggest more that better.
And you're only 10 minutes away from major shopping centers.
Exactly.
All right, of course. Looking forward to talking to you. All right, any other questions before we sign off for today?
We're heading back up there on the 4th of July. Maybe we'll see you.
Yeah, for sure. Look us up, for sure.
Will do.
Tricia?
Tricia, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we'll be more than happy. Get to meet you, get to share a cup of coffee.
Even on these, who have been here before and that are not interested in taking a tour, if you, like, we can still help you out. We do know the right people in the right places that, so, you know, if you've already decided to come here, so just look us up. We'll go for coffee, or look us up.
Will do. Will do.
You will not get to
Thanks,
see
guys.
much of the country or learn about the culture if you're not in the tour. That's a
Yeah.
guarantee of that. You want to do things on your own, and that's very fair. And we're more than happy to walk you through it as much we can. The best way to get the culture and get to learn from it, from a natural standpoint, and you will have a different point of view of all Panama. I promise you that.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? I think we've asked. If it's not, I think we're going to be signing off before we get kicked off.
No, before I say to all of you, thank you so much for joining us
Please,
tonight.
yes.
And thank you so much for your time. Your time is precious. And I hope that we can see each other again, either on screen or face to face. And say goodbye, Monday. See you soon.
See you soon. Hasta luego. Okay.
Yes, so.
All righty. So people are signing off. I'm one of those guys, I can't hang up first. Okay, people are starting to leave. Okay. We want to be here right to the end. Oh, well. Okay. Well, I don't think we have a choice because Zoom is giving me a countdown. We only booked the conference for an hour, so it was great talking to each and every one of you. Anything you need, shoot us an email, and let's talk more in the future. Okay, so you all have a great night.
See you, everybody.